Yeah. We good? All righty. Good morning, everyone. Make sure you turn off your gadgets. Have any papers, please give them to Mr. Curran. Remember to speak loudly and clearly since Mr. Peltzer is here. And he appreciates it. We're going to have the invocation by the sheriff and the pledge by the treasurer. If you wish to join us, please rise.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day. We ask that you give the commissioners wisdom and guidance as they make decisions for the citizens of Berrien County. They have their utmost attention to details. We pray for the men and women in our armed service and our public safety, that you protect them and guide them and give them wisdom, give them compassion, that they can serve you well. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both. Madam Clerk, you want to do the roll?
Bell,
Here.
Curran,
Here.
Freeling,
Present.
Harrison,
Here.
Engelmann,
Here.
Majerick,
Here.
Martin,
Here.
Scott,
Present.
Ballraff,
Here.
Werfel,
Here.
Yarborough.
Yarborough.
Elliott,
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 present.
Thank you. I understand we have some communications.
Yes, you received 5 communications, one from Gogibic County Board of Commissioners, a resolution urging state legislators to amend the Michigan Auto Insurance Reform Act to amend the reimbursement cap for auto accident victims and home health care, received November 10th. David Lazarus, an email praising the prosecutor's office, received on November 12th. David Lazarus, an email regarding PSI, pre-sentencing investigation in the Berrien County court system, received on November 14th. On to Noggin County Board of Commissioners, a resolution urging state legislators to amend the Michigan Auto Insurance Reform Act, received on November 16th. Sheila Wrights, Chief Deputy County Clerk, an email on her resignation, received on November 16th. That's all for correspondences.
Thank you, ma'am. Public comments about resolutions are in order. Oh, I thought we did that. No, I shouldn't have crossed it off already. Sorry. Minutes from the 10th.
So moved.
Is there support? Moved by Scott, supported by Bell. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Sorry, I won't cross it off ahead of time next time. Now, we have a bunch of resolutions. We have added resolutions, 3 last time I checked. Still 3. If you have anything to say about the resolutions, now is the time. Okay. We have one resolution to pull. Which one was that?
Oh, it's the road payables.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Say it is 65 is the last number.
Oh, and the added resolutions, 365. Okay, so other than the first of the 3 added resolutions, is the consent calendar ripe and ready?
No, Mac, it's road payables.
Oh, okay, all right. I was thinking it was the one in 65. Okay, so the second payable ending in 055, we will pull. Everything else, we go with,
Make a motion,
including the 3 addeds.
make a motion
Moved
to
by Scott.
approve the consent calendar with the added resolutions and F221155 is pulled.
Okay, is there support?
Support.
Supported by Volrath. Is there discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Engelmann,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ballraff,
Yes.
Werfel,
Yes.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Elliot,
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. Is there a motion to approve the weekly bills and road payables?
So moved.
Moved by Warfel, supported by Volrath. Is there discussion? Yes, sir.
My comments once again is looking at the road payables.
Is your microphone on?
Yes, it's on.
Thank you.
Looking at the road payables, going down some more engineering fees to the tune of almost $48,000 again. With the figures I'm coming up now. At the road department, we're getting close to $1 million in outside engineering fees. Now, to me, and I tried to address this with the personnel committee, but basically got rebuffed. We need to do something more progressive to try to get some engineers into that department. Whether it is a pay increase, a salary increase, I mean, try something. You know, I'm tired of the excuse of, well, Kalamazoo's trying it. Well, Kalamazoo is Kalamazoo. That's not Berrien County. Maybe we need to do something more progressive instead of just sit back and look and wait to see if we can find somebody. Maybe we need to bring our standards down to where we can hire people right out of college and give them a little training in our department with our engineer right now to bring them up to where we need them. We do that with every other employee that comes in. Like we're offering them money now to get their CDL license. So I just think that $1 million is a way too much of a fee for outside engineering when we've got openings for engineers that could do road department work for us and cut that way down. That would leave more money to do, I don't know, give employees needed wage increases. I mean, I'm looking at possibly if we hire the 3 engineers at a little upgrade in salary, saving over $600,000 of that outside money that we're spending right now. So that's my only comment on that, is that, you know, I think that we're missing the boat on, and I hear, oh, you know, they can't find engineers to hire. Well, I brought up the example of my grandson that can't get hired, and he's an engineer and he's gone everywhere, and his classmates are telling him the same thing. So it's not that we can't hire engineers, it's maybe our standards are a little too high for these newcomers coming out college trained, and we might need to change it a little bit so we can at least get some in there, do some training, do a 2-year program, you know, like offer them something that if you stay, you know, if not, you go on to some other job, you need to repay something back or whatever. But we need to be looking more progressive instead of just sitting back and doing nothing and hoping somebody comes in. That's just my comments on the engineering fees that show up every week on these road commission payables.
Freely,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majeri.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ballrath,
Affirmative.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Elliot.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
Thank you. We'll go to committee reports. Madam Chair of Finance, please.
Thank you very much. Our finance committee met this morning and we had a bid opening. And I would like to ask Commissioner Scott if he would explain that to us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The bid was for 400 steel scraper blades for the road. The projected cost was $33,600. We sent it out to 8 bidders, 4 responded. Actually, 5 responded. There was a 5th one who the bid was not sent to, but they picked that up from the internet sometimes. So the bids ranged in price from $50,280 all the way down to $33,952, with 3 of the bids in the mid-40s. So we sent that, made a motion to send that bid back to the road department for them to purview to make sure all the specifications were correct from these companies that had the higher bid and then the mid bid and then the lower bid, of course. And we'll wait for that, but we approve these to go back to the road department. That's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. And then we paid the weekly bills and the road payables, and we accepted our minutes. And that was our committee meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for finance?
Thank you.
Okay, next on the list today, Mr. Admin Chair.
Thank you, Matt. First in to see us this morning was our Animal Control Director, Ashley Herr, and Commissioner Warfel would like to report out on that.
Thanks, Chairman. She reported out that staffing is looking better. The admin secretary is starting at the end of the month, I think the 28th. And she's got interviews going on for the clinical positions and the outreach coordinator. Kennel staff, they're still trying to get more applications in for and working on that. They also have the Friends of Berrien County Animal Control are working on the dog play yards. You guys saw that resolution, I think, a few weeks ago. And they also had done the sound deafening panels, and that's helping a lot. Those are installed and it's helping a lot. She says the dogs are a lot calmer now. They have an adoption event this weekend. So if you know people that are looking, send them over to Animal Control. We'll also see a few other things coming in the weeks ahead, including the consultant on the shelter, and we approved the licensing this morning. So she's excited about that. I know that. So thank you all.
Thank you, Julie. Next, we had Brian and the Vice Chair, Commissioner Freeling, in to see us. We just had a brief conversation about trail requests and the process that will follow. Brian is going to put something formally into place so that if it is a request for a trail, a non-motorized trail, that it will come through the admin committee rather than any other of the other parent committees, and then we'll come to the board. So Brian's going to formalize that. We approved a property use request. Maureen Adams, Director of our Veterans Affairs Services over here. Food for Vets, December the 7th, 2022, from 2 to 4 p.m. The Health Department conference room and parking lot. Primarily a conference room is just to store supplies. The parking lot is they're going to do the drive-through for Food for Vets. So we approved that request. And then we have a resolution for you the next time we get together, ending in 2303. This is the trail master plan. It basically says that we acknowledge the Berrien County Trails Master Plan and will apply it where appropriate in the future planning of Berrien County. So that will be for our approval next time. And that is our report. Any questions, Commissioner Scott? Sorry,
You're doing a
I thought I'd
fine
just go
job.
right to it.
You're doing just a fine job in admin. Not as good as finance, but still a fine job.
Well, well, at our meeting this morning, we had standing room only. So
wow.
there you go. So,
They give you the smallest room.
yeah. That's very mean spirited. So we also met this morning, approved our minutes. We also approved the resolution for per diems. And so you'll see that come next meeting. We talked about the consideration of cost of living increases for staff. We're on a schedule where you can expect that to come, a recommendation to come out the second or third week of December. Now, we had Jill Adams come in and give a report for Parks and Recreation. And she talked about a number of plans that they've got underway, some changes out at Love Creek, as well as some of the work that they're doing, trying to bring in additional money from the state of Michigan to upgrade our parks. We also had a brief discussion about review of the board bylaws. And I know Commissioner Werfel had contacted me regarding some of the initial recommendations, and that should be coming forth quickly to you. We also talked about the board orientation, and our county administrator recommended looking at MML coming in to do a local orientation for not just our new commissioners, but also for people newly appointed or elected to township boards and other governmental units. So we thought that was a great idea. And we did talk about staffing. Commissioner Martin attended and asked a number of questions regarding engineers and availability, and those were answered by our administrator. And so that, I think, is consistent with what we've heard before. And that, I think, pretty much concluded our meeting, gentlemen. Anything I missed? All right.
Questions for PHS?
Mr. Chair, I'm thinking you're doing a fine job in there.
All right. We used to, I think we still do have apprentice programs.
Yeah.
You know more about it than I.
Yeah, so to address the comment made about what are we doing to assist with the front of the house for road department? Yes. So Mark's in the back, and I could not be happier. We have multiple members on the back side of the house. The equipment operators are going through the CDL program now. And we have 5 of them going through that, and it is awesome. I could not be prouder of the work that the road department has done to supplement. On the front office, we do have engineering tech positions. These are posted, they're open. The Tech 1 position starts at 52.4, associate's degree or high school diploma and 2 years experience. Engineering Tech 2 starts at 57,680, associate's degree, high school or high school diploma with 3 to 5 years construction experience. Senior Engineering Tech, also an associate's degree, and that would be at 63.4 as the start. So we do have these programs. We've had people in the past, we have lost them as they've gone across the street to the private side. And I would point to all of our departments actively recruiting. The road department has made a real focus on supplementing their staff on the labor side. No one is dodging the need to get engineering back in-house. We are doing that. But as I noted to each committee last week, we have a local engineering firm that just a week ago, I gave you a breakdown of more than 24 engineering positions that were open and vacant that they're attempting to recruit. As a quick reminder, our project engineer, our senior engineer, and our staff engineer, all of those wages were set after reviewing comparables from a couple of private engineering firms that are doing work within the county. So if any of you have people that are looking, send them our way. The jobs are posted. We will happily take a look at their applications. Anything else?
No, thank you. That's it for committee reports. We'll go to commissioner reports and start with John.
Last week, we had a BC BIT meeting for broadband. As you're aware, October 31st was the deadline for communities to submit their applications for the grant that we had opened up for broadband projects. As is usual, there's always more projects and more ask than there is money. And so based on my knowledge, I think we had 17 communities that had an application submitted. Probably around 24 million in whole was what was requested. What we're doing right now is we are reviewing if there are some of those projects that may be able to be completed in conjunction with what's happening with some of the businesses that are doing construction through RDOF awards and other funding sources within Berrien County. But the other thing that we had updated to us was update on the Michigan's program. through the My High office. I like saying that office because
Like saying that.
yeah, it's just because it gets a chuckle, I suppose, but it stands for the Michigan High Speed Internet Office and their Robin program. And this is for broadband deployment throughout the state of Michigan. They have a notice of funding that will likely be announced sometime mid-December for about $250 million. And Berrien County, along with a few other communities, are well suited to put in an application to be able to ask for broadband deployment within Berrien County. So what will likely be coming before this board is a recommendation in the coming weeks to be able to go out for a request for the grant funding through that program to help to fund some of these additional municipal applications that we may not have funding source through our program, that we could kind of pull together and have an opportunity for synergies throughout those communities to meet our objective of full connectivity within Berrien County in the coming years. Outside of that, we did discuss some of the other things that are ongoing. Bainbridge Township through their efforts. And then also there is the FCC maps that are going to be coming out here. I think the first layer is going to be released to the public on November 18th to be able to look at and to see what areas there may be misrepresentation. God bless you. And then like for Berrien County, we would have the opportunity to challenge some of the mapping layers that are there to be able to say we know for a fact through our parcel data that this area is not served or it is served. And so that will be coming forward as well through the work that BCBIT is doing along with the other stakeholders participating. Outside of that, I'll let the other members of the committee do any updates as needed. That's my report, sir.
Since our last meeting, I attended a Veterans Day luncheon at the local elementary school and then also attended the our local emergency planning committee along with Commissioners Volrath and Curran. And that would conclude my report.
The only things I have to report on is Robert Goodspeed, who's working with University of Michigan with the Ben Harbor Mobility Project, sent me an email basically asking me to spread the word about okay. So Robert Goodspeed, who works for the University of Michigan, who's working on the Ben Harbor Smart Mobility Project, he sent me an email asking to spread the word about a possible employment opportunity as a mobility manager, basically working with University of Michigan and Ben Harbor's Twin City Transportation Authority on some of the projects they're working on regarding public transit in the area. So he said that you could go to the University of Michigan website to apply for this job. It's grant funded. So this job is going to run from January 1st to the end of August of 2023. So I'm spreading the word here. Also, I have a meeting today that I will be attending regarding putting building trades back into the CTE programs in schools across Berrien County. And so we're going to talk about going into Ben Harbor schools as well as St. Joseph Public Schools. And that concludes my report.
I also attended LEPC, BCBIT, and the only thing I would add to what Terry had to say, she does an excellent job of reporting out on BCBIT, is that BCBIT, because of our history, we have become such a valuable resource in this area. The other local jurisdictions look to us for guidance, for answers. There's a variety of questions that come up through the municipalities, and between Terry and Brian and John Eaglehoff, we get those questions answered. So, you know, I know we started that a long time ago. We started long before broadband was popular, and it's paying dividends now because we are a valuable asset and people really look to us. That's my report.
We had our LAPC meeting this week with Commissioners Bob and Jim. And we had a presentation by a gentleman from Eagle who gave us information on what to do and who to contact when you find a spill that may be environmentally unfriendly, which anything from a car crash, overturned gasoline, things like that. Those are all possibilities. They gave us an 800 number we can call for those type of emergencies. I also attended our area agency on aging, is our annual meeting Tuesday or Monday. It's been a long week. We had luncheon at the Harbor Shores Inn, and they invite all the partners. It's a business meeting where we reelect the officers for next year, or elect, but we reelected those who keep wanting to serve. And it was a nice luncheon. They have a lot of the volunteers. There were probably 125 to 140 people there. A lot of awards were presented. Our area agency on aging is one of the top agencies in the country, bar none, and they are some of the leaders in a lot of the programs and things that they initiate. And very happy. I got a little pen and pencil set for being on the board for 6 years, and actually they said it was 5, but it's been 6. But there were some of those that have been on it for 25 years. I'm a little behind those folks, but that was very nice of them. I appreciated it very much, and it was a nice luncheon.
I attended Parks meeting yesterday, and things are going well at the parks. The controlled deer hunt is going on right now at Love Creek and Madeline Bertrand, so they are closed. And Madeline Bertrand is going to their winter hours. They are on their winter hours once they reopen after the deer hunt. Revenue came in a little bit short of last year, but last year was a record year. So I mean, we still got 2 months. So with the snow, maybe revenues will pick up for cross-country skiing soon. So who knows? Certainly not giving up hope, but that was our meeting yesterday.
Well, since I don't have any outside committees, thanks to certain members of this board who decided to not have me serve on any, which I think deprived Benton Township of any type of representation on any of these. And in fact, my supervisor has been here before asking for information on why. She has not received anything back yet. And she considers it a slap in the face to the citizenry of Benton Township for what this board did. The only meeting that I did attend was the Benton Township board meeting. What they are doing right now is they're going through their local ordinances, and they're to set an ordinance and a area for marijuana processing, sales, and so forth to put in their book for ordinances. Other than that, addressing what Brian said about the engineers, I see that a lot of the engineers, 2 years degree, 2 years experience, 2 years experience. These young men, women that came out of college, and I'm gonna throw back the COVID thing that Brian likes to use a lot. They were denied any type of internship for their engineering degrees because of the COVID. Where are they supposed to find when every place here looking for engineers is requiring a 2 years, 3 years experience? What I'm saying is maybe this county can hire some people that don't have that experience because they were deprived of any experience in their college education, and find some type of training program to bring them up to that 2 years experience, help them out, train them on especially the lower end positions. And then as they gain experience, they have an opportunity to be promoted into those higher ones with experience. That's what I'm bringing, that, you know, something a little more than health authority would, and we had review they have of that less than 50% were, and
and completed the course. So they were pretty happy about that. It's usually not even that high. We also had, Bergen County is one of the highest in their HIPAA rules and laws that they complete all the programs that are put in by the state and federal government. And they have last night, the lawyer for the annual board review came and did about an hour and a half presentation on Berrien County, Riverwood. And she said out of all the CMHs in her district, we are one of the top ones, or actually we're the top ones. There are some other ones that are not finishing. You can make a mistake and you can be fined by the federal government like 140 million very easily, just by having some records wrong. Anything can happen. We have a company that checks our network, checks our emails, checks the internet, and it's called KnowBe4, and they send out emails on a constant basis to people that receive emails in Riverwood, and they're phishing emails, and they just check them to make sure that, okay, they may misspell a name or they may do anything else. And if you click on that and then fill out information or click on that, you have to go through a training course, and they will then pick on you and send out another one next week and another one couple weeks. And it keeps happening, but it's trained over the years, Riverwood, to be very defensive against any type of emails they get or hacking that they get. So the board was pretty excited about that, and we're moving forward, and they're still looking for ways to stop hacking. That's my report.
Please make sure your mic is really, really close to you. I guess it's not picking up a lot of the voice, and maybe speak a little bit louder when you guys are talking. Thank you.
I've never had a problem with that. Oddly enough. The report that I have is to touch a little bit on what the chair of the BC BIT meeting or that we attended, Terry. The one thing that this board needs to remember and the public need to remember is that years ago when we started BC BIT, we knew there was a problem. We didn't know how to take care of the problem. And now, because this BC BIT committee and this board took certain positive steps for broadband connectivity throughout the county, we are one of about less than 10, I believe, out of 83 counties that will be eligible for the $250 million grants, because our committee and this board did the right thing and we did the right work, and we are just light years ahead of all these other counties. So that puts Berrien in a very, very good spot of being able to secure some of that 250 million Berrien County. So I just want to make that comment. The other thing is the rest of all the BC BIT, what she said, and what Jim said. The other thing is I didn't attend anything else, but I wanted to make sure that all you commissioners and that everybody knew, for the past 3 or 4 years, I've been attending every year, and I'm the only commissioner that's attended that because it's kind of personal. But the courts have adoption day on November 21st, starting at 10, ending at around 3:30. A Supreme Court justice is going to be there over presiding and that of our regular courts. I've been to that, and it is an awesome thing to see, where children and families are actually brought together as one family. And if any of you please do show up. I love it because I was adopted when I was a child and I just never knew what the process was. So, but it's an outstanding thing that happens at the courts. And I just wanted everybody to know that. Thank you. That is my report.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, I attended the Berrien County Parks meeting also. It's a wonderful meeting in that the majority of each place, the director speaks, Love Creek or Madeline Bertrand. So you kind of get to see who works it and who does it, and they're very busy. It's time that you can shoot deer now with a bow and arrow. We learn about the bird watching, just, all the things that they're involved in. They've taken at Waterville, that launch for the kayaks has been taken up. They take good care of our property and the things that we have. We are, I think, in the process of ordering our playground equipment for Silver Beach, which will be the first piece to do with the whole change that we're doing with Silver Beach. So, and then we have windows from the historic courthouse in Berrien Springs. The new ones have been put in probably a couple of years, and is her name Rihanna? Rihan is working to see how to do it. She's looking for an auctioneer. If you all know of an auctioneer, call her and give her some names. I think she's on vacation this next week. Her board told her to take off. But she has all these wonderful windows, and they've got to decide if they'll sell the whole thing or pieces, or so that it can be the best. We want it to be an auction, and she'll decide if it's going to be just on computer or will it be live, and all those chances, but that it will be a person that knows what they're doing and will set the value at the right way. So it's a busy department, and they work with, it's wonderful how they work with the Drain Commission, with the road department, with, all the things, the trails and all the things that are going on. So that's my report.
Thank you. I haven't commented on this before, but I'm going to now. The matter of outside committee appointments. Those appointments are not for a political subdivision within a district, such as Benton Charter Township. When we appoint a member of this board to an outside committee, that board is being represented through us. That appointment is an extension of us on that board, not Benton Township. Benton Township, the supervisor who came in certainly could have called. I don't know who put her up to coming. It's a matter of speculation, I suppose, but the appointments aren't for a local unit. They're for this board. There were matters pertaining to your appointment to this board that impacted the decision to not appoint you to any outside committees. This was discussed by the Committee on Committees. That committee unanimously recommended against appointing you. I have touched base with members of this board because any board member can move to appoint another board member to an outside board or committee, except those that are my call as chair, but there aren't that many of those. But someone could come to me and say, I'd like you to appoint Commissioner Smith or Commissioner Jones or what have you. No one has done that. Anyone could do that today, this morning, if they wish to, and we could put it out for a vote. But making false statements and repeating them doesn't somehow transform them into the truth. Even if you do it 10 times, it's still a false statement. So to say that Benton Township is going unrepresented, no, they have a representative seated at this table. The outside committees are for our benefit as a board. And if the board believes that it's good to have an extension of the board, a member of this commission sitting on an outside committee, anybody here can make a motion to appoint a member to serve. And I would invite anyone who wishes to do that at any time. And then we would vote. But, and I'm not going to get into the matters about the appointment process and the aftermath of it that created concern. If I'm pressed, I will, or other people could, but suffice to say, it gave us pause. And upon reflection, I respected the decision of the Committee on Committees. I concurred with it. And I have, I think, talked with virtually everyone around this table about it. And there has not thus far been support for appointing to those committees that Don served on. Some people have taken those, but in the next 6 weeks, if someone wanted to do an appointment through the end of the calendar year, they could do so, and we would entertain it. So with that, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a couple of comments. So I'm going to start with Mark. So Mark is our road department director. This is his first storm that he's been through while employed by county, the Berrien County Road Department. And I just want to thank him for being very responsive, making himself very available, and just being a very calm presence. So Mark, good job. To any member of the board, if you got a question, please, between myself and Mark, we'll get you answers as it relates to road department. So Ashley Herr is in the room. Commissioner Werfel did a good job of summarizing things going on at animal control. But Ashley is our point person at animal control. She's working to add staff, both full-time and part-time. She's working to navigate working with outside volunteers. She also has capital improvements that are being funded by outside volunteers. A lot of good things happening at animal control. I'm going to ask, before we wrap, if she could just brief you quickly on a couple of things going on there. We'll wait for that. Sheriff is in the back corner of the room. So we are working on some capital improvements at the jail. And this week, the sheriff took time to walk me through the jail, just showing me some of the points of concern, from painting and just needs, maintenance needs. And I think within 5 minutes of that tour, I was ready to go. And at 30 minutes in, I was convinced that I never want to spend any time in jail. But it was one of those illustrative moments where I say with sincerity, thank you for taking the time. But moreover, to the people that run the jail, to the people that work in the jail, I just, my hat's off. It's a tough environment. The people that are being kept there as inmates are being treated in a humane way. And at times it can be a very difficult environment. So just compliments to the sheriff and his team that have a job that I officially don't want. So, but Sheriff, with sincerity, thank you for taking the time. And last point of comments is just to look to my left and say thank you to Sharon. Sharon's team ran last week's elections in a very efficient manner. And to anyone who hasn't worked an election, and I've only done it a couple, but it's essentially a 24-hour day. So from the moment they open the polls to the moment that they collect all of the local data, it is just crazy how long of a day it is. And they are doing this in a heightened atmosphere of just complete transparency. And really, they don't have an opportunity to make a single mistake. So it's a whole lot more stress. It is an incredibly long effort, and I just compliment you on getting through it, doing it well. And just know that as you go through staff, you will have my complete and utter commitment to working with you to make sure that you've got the resources you need to get through the next election. Okay, those are my comments.
All right. We're now ready to have general public comments. Anything under the sun in 2 minutes or less, name and town, name and town.
Ashley, you're up.
Yep. And you don't have a 2-minute limit because you're staff.
Oh, okay.
I'll still try to keep it brief though. So like had already been mentioned, we definitely are having a lot of staffing improvements out at the shelter. We're seeing a lot more adoptions recently, which is amazing because we've been really in need of that. We've had, if I remember correctly, 170 some odd dogs adopted out this year, which we've had about 800 come in, 800 plus. So it's amazing to have that many adoptions and owners coming in and picking up their dogs. That's been amazing as well. We're over 200 for people coming in to pick their animals up. So that's quite fabulous for us. Our Friends of group has been a huge help to us with getting medical care for these animals. We've had a few emergencies come in. They're helping to improve their lives through the fencing, helping to sponsor the sound deadening panels that we have now in the kennel area to help improve them so they're not exposed to all this noisiness that just comes with a general sheltering environment. As well as that, we're looking into working with outside resources to help us run more efficiently and be able to help us learn better ways and more progressive ways to keep the shelter going and to stay up to date with the sheltering world. We're also looking at the dog licensing changes that are now approved. We're going to be getting on board and getting that moving to where we'll be more acclimated to what the community wants, to where everything references back to the vaccination history of that pet versus us setting a certain window that makes it a little difficult to get into your vet, especially with, COVID and appointments being out by at least 2 weeks to 2 months. So it's a lot of good improvements, a lot of progressive changes, and we're just happy to keep moving forward, and holidays are coming around. So if you guys want to have a new addition, like was mentioned, we do have an adoption event on Friday and Saturday from 10 to 4:30 on Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturday. But if you do come in early, we will not say no to you adopting an animal. We have anywhere from fish to cats, dogs, guinea pigs, and bunnies right now. So a little bit of everything. So yeah, that's all I have.
Well, you could get a fish for your guinea pig, though. Anyone else?
Pelzer, Jaeger. I don't think they heard that. Pelzer, Hager Township. Can you hear me now? No, but I was thinking of going back there, sit right amongst these people right here, just talk to them, just like I'm talking just to those people right there. Some of you are still doing that. Speakers. You're sitting right here. You're talking if you talk real loud, you're gonna be able to hear you. But this guy sitting next to you or next on the other side, they're gonna be, surprised because you're yelling at them. If you had that one time I came in here, you guys were right against the wall over there. Of course, you didn't like that. It only lasted one day because we were able to hear. If somebody was sitting over there and somebody there, you had to talk loud enough so that everybody could hear you. Now, in college, I had a professor that put us all in a great big circle. That kind of worked out. Now, some of you are still not getting close enough to that mic. We have a right to be heard. And only what, 1, 2, 3, 3 of us, 4. You got it outnumbered, about 5 to 1. And you're just talking amongst yourselves. That's not what this meeting's about. Now, when I go home and watch it on my computer, I can hear everybody. I just turn up the volume a little bit, right? Well, I can't do it here. So please, some of you, a little louder, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pelzer. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, sir.
Tony Bernard, so if I'm not mistaken, I just heard you make a comment that you're sending these CDL drivers to Michigan State. Is that right? What was the comment about Michigan State then?
I didn't make a comment about Michigan State.
Somebody did.
It's not a state.
Apparently it was something to do with the state of Michigan, not with Michigan State.
I was gonna say, but Because I mean, the college right out here does CDL training.
Oh,
So, but, the other thing is, we keep going around and around the tree about engineering. The engineers that are available in this county or close to here are being paid a lot more than what you guys are offering to pay. Take and make a contract with Michigan Tech or somebody that's got a good reputable engineering school and say, hey, we'll substitute some of the costs for their schooling if they maintain a certain GPA, rating. And then they can pass the state exam in the first time around and not, 2 or 3 times down the road. And maybe you'll get somebody that's gonna be interested, like the 5 truck drivers or, whatever, so.
okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Other business? Anyone have any?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Today at 1 o'clock, the land bank will meet in this room.
Yeah. I forgot that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other business?
Just a
John?
question for Mamie or the Parks Department. They're gonna auction off those windows from the courthouse, and when is that gonna take place?
They don't know.
They don't know
They
yet.
wanna.
They're just
looking
planning
for
for
a company.
it. Okay, that's, like, I
She's
just,
looked locally and.
I didn't know.
You know more.
Well, what, pardon me?
And that's why I wondered about local, I don't
For
know.
the old windows, I think they were gonna, originally that was the plan, and I just wanted to know when it was
It's
gonna
always
take place.
been to auction.
Yeah, and as a follow-up to that, it's been discussed at the Parks meeting. It is still one that an authorizing resolution will need to go through PHS as Parks Parent Committee and then back to the full board to grant them permission to do this. It's county property. We're not, as staff, we're not suggesting that we're not supportive of trying to raise money for the museum, but just as a point of order, before they could sell this stuff, they've got to have the board's formal permission.
Plus, they have a board.
Yes.
And so that's what they're looking for to decide how best to do it, like I said, pieces or the whole.
And then where the money would go, that would probably be,
So we would have that spelled out in the authorizing resolution. I would anticipate that it's being put back into the maintenance of the facility in Berrien Springs. We've had a capital needs analysis done and there is ample need for funding. Everything from exterior work, sidewalk work to just basic heating, cooling and wiring.
I think she said they were gonna paint the building. Didn't she say that? That they would use the dollars? Okay.
But as part of the overall capital improvement plan document that was done for all of the properties, the historic courthouse and the campus there is one of the chapters in there. And it's a significant amount of money that's needed for improvements. We do budget on a regular basis for improvements, but it's not at a level that I think the museum would like to see. They want to see the number higher.
my question was mostly on time frame.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what time frame you guys were, what
We'll
timeframe you guys
we'll
were
let
operating
you,
on.
we'll let everybody know.
Yep.
Any other business? I have a question. We used to get together every December. COVID kind of derailed that and we haven't done it in a couple of years for dinner. Is there any interest in doing it? If so, we could look around for a place that would let us come.
Are we far out? Like Berrien County places we can't
Yeah,
go?
well, you never know.
Let's go there.
So if there is, just, let me know. Let Brian know in the next couple days, and then we could maybe shoot for the, I don't know, 3rd Thursday next month or something like that. It would be before the week of Christmas. And, and then we'd be looking for us spouses or significant others, as the term is now used. And the staff that we hire directly. So, yeah. So just food for thought, no pun intended.
Mr. Chair,
Sir,
Commissioner Harrison doesn't go a week without mentioning his love of Culvers and bringing me coupons, so this may be an opportunity.
yeah. Well,
I'm going to Texas Corral. Drop me off a Cracker Barrel.
okay, well, on that note, don't come next Thursday and we're closed next Friday. We'll see you on the 1st. God be with you. Happy